previously on Gears.
Today on my Disi's Double Ds, I'm so excited to be starting our partnership with Cell C and Red Bull Mobile off with a bang. My dude today is an international star. It's Brumbies and Aussie rugby player Stephen Moore. After making his Test debut for Australia against Samoa in 2005, Stephen began his rise to a place among the world's best hookers. Powerful in the scrum, forceful in the loose, and well drilled at the line-out, Moore has helped to shore up Australian set piece in recent seasons. He began his Super Rugby career with the Reds, playing 5 seasons with them, establishing himself at an elite level. After 8 consecutive replacement appearances for the Wallabies, he made his starting debut against Scotland in 2006. After cementing his place at the top of the Australian game, Moore moved on to pastures new and signed a deal with the Canberra-based Brumbies that would see him competing for international honours through to the 2011 Rugby World Cup. He recently played in the 2013 Super Rugby final, is a permanent in the Aussie team, and it's a huge honour to get Steve on the line, as I know he is in huge demand ahead of this weekend's opening test between Australia and New Zealand.
Welcome, Stephen, to Gears. I know you've been on Balls before, but it's great to have you on a proper radio show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, I do remember being in there. I think it was last year with Jake. So, yeah, it's good to be back.
Okay, starting off, moving back to that Super 15 semi-final you played against the Bulls at Loftus. I was actually there. I watched the match. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the final, the result went the wrong way for you, I suppose. Jake White has led our Springboks to victory and clearly is a brilliant coach. What was it like playing under him?
Oh, look, Jake's completely transformed the Brumbies. There's no doubt about that. In 2 seasons, he's taken us from, basically being at the bottom of the Super Rugby ladder to contesting the final. So, we came very close to winning the final, which was really disappointing in the end. But, Jake's done a wonderful job in transforming the team, and it's great that he's going to be staying around at the Brumbies for another few seasons, and I'm sure we can achieve much more.
Stephen, I wanted to talk about that final and rugby in general. I'm sort of like old school, where rugby tests used to take place every couple of years as opposed to every couple of months. What is the feeling? I mean, you've grown up playing against the All Blacks every a couple of months, and the Springboks, and then maybe doing overseas tours to England and playing against the Northern Hemisphere. How do you guys find the intensity, the desire, the enthusiasm when you're going to play the All Blacks this week and then next week and then maybe in 3 weeks' time? How do you guys keep motivated?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and it's something that is very tough, and it's something you really have to work hard at. There's so much rugby these days that possibly there is too much rugby, and maybe we do play each other too often, and I probably tend to agree with you in terms of I'm probably a bit more traditional in terms of a test match is something that's very special and only comes around every so often. But the way the rugby calendar is these days, it's there's so much rugby on, and we do play each other a lot. But as a player, that's just the way it is, and that's our job, I guess, and that's something that we need to get our heads around, and we need to put everything into every test match. So I think one thing you do see is there's definitely more players playing test match rugby. There's a bit of a rotation of guys just because there is so much rugby being played. So that's something, I guess, it's had to adapt a little bit as there's been more rugby played.
Yeah, good, great answer. Thanks.
Sasha's very proud of himself for asking such a good question. He's giving himself the thumbs up in studio here.
That's an excellent question.
Okay, I was reading up, and I was on Google, and I was reading up about you, and there was an article saying there's a new scrum structure that will make its debut this weekend. It's the new crouch bind set. What will happen differently in the scrums this weekend, and is it going to be challenging for you?
Yeah, I think it will be. It's something new for all of us, I think, the referees included. So it's something that's going to take a little bit of getting used to. I think it's going to take a lot of power out of the engagement, which is what it's meant to do. So there'll be much more emphasis on the sort of wrestling component of scrummaging. And as a hooker, I'm going to have to strike for the ball, which is something I haven't really done too much in my career. And I guess a lot of young hookers out there probably never have struck for the ball. at Super Rugby level or even Test level. So that's something that's going to be new this weekend. So we'll just see how it goes. We've prepared as well as we can for it, and it's not going to be perfect, but we'll do our best.
I mean, Stephen, quite a lot of pressure now on you, as you say, to strike, but also a lot of pressure on your scrum half as well to make sure that ball goes in relatively straight.
Exactly right. There's going to be a really good combination, an important combination, I guess, between the hooker and halfback. So, if it doesn't work out, it's always going to be the halfback's fault. Don't worry. I'll be blaming him.
And then, of course, I mean, the rivalry between the Wallabies and the All Blacks is huge, and playing for the Bledisloe Cup within this championship. Is it just as big to win the Bledisloe Cup as, I mean, the whole tournament with South Africa and Argentina?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think the Bledisloe Cup is really the most well-known and most well-respected rivalry between Australia and New Zealand in any sport. So I think it means a lot to the people in Australia to win that trophy, and it's something that's eluded us for a number of years now. So I think there's a real desire in the group to win on Saturday, and we know it's an important game, and we're at home for the first game, which is a massive boost to us, and we need to make sure we capitalise on that in front of our home fans and make sure we get a result, because it's very difficult to win in New Zealand, and you want to be going over there 1-0 up, that's for sure.
Stephen, is the Aussie sort of squad at the moment, is it in a building phase? I mean, you guys had the Lions over there, which came with so much experience, yet the Wallaby side, I mean, you running onto the field this weekend as, correct me if I'm wrong, as the oldest player. I mean, so it's a very, very young side. Yeah.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, is it a building phase? And I don't mean in the sense of saying, well, okay, if we go out and lose, let's look at the positives. I mean, you got to go in there sitting and saying, you can beat these guys. But I mean, the lack of experience surely must play a little bit of a factor.
Yeah, I think so. I think the team certainly is in a bit of a building phase or a transition, I suppose. A number of guys have moved on, and I think there's maybe 5 or 6 guys making their debut this weekend, so which is a lot of guys, I guess, in one game. But I think Ewan McKenzie, the new coach, he's really emphasised that the team will be picked on form, and the players who are in form and playing well will get the opportunity to play for Australia, and it'll very much be a performance-based thing. So all the players are aware of that, and we know that we've got to go out there and perform to keep our spot, and I think that'll help the team achieve good results.
Excellent.
I just want to know 2 things. What do you think of us South Africans? We're quality people here. When you come over here, I'm sure you have a great time.
We always do, yeah. My wife's South African, so I have to say that, I think.
You got great taste. You really have great taste, Stephen.
And then the other thing...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well...
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, amongst the players in the Aussie side, who enjoys a big night out on the town? Who's, as in South African terms, we'd say, who's the big jolla in the Aussie team?
Geez, it's changed a lot since I first went to South Africa with the Wallabies, which was probably 10 years ago nearly. So these days it's very tame, and you've got to be careful when you go out. There's all sorts of distractions, and but I think maybe Nathan Sharp, he's just retired, but he was certainly a guy who enjoyed going out and having a good time. And look, like you've said, South Africa is a wonderful place to play rugby and a wonderful place to travel. And I'm a huge fan of the country and travelling there. And every time I go there, I feel very welcome, except maybe when we're at Loftus. But other than that, it's a very enjoyable place to visit, and wonderful people, and great place to play rugby.
Stephen, it's really a treat to have you on the show, and we wish you well, especially under your new coach this coming weekend. Because you are the first on our brand new sponsored feature, we're giving away a cell phone. So I'd like you to maybe ask a question to our listeners here, any kind of question, and we're going to do another part because you've been to the Ball Studio before and you've signed our wall. So we've got a 2-part to our series.
Okay.
But throw us a question that you'd like our listeners to answer.
I guess, where are the Wallabies playing the Springboks this year in Australia?
Fantastic
Awesome.
question. All right. Stephen, we wish you all of the best and good luck with the scrumming techniques. Hopefully your shoulders don't get too messed up, but, wind those Kiwis a little.
Thanks very much, guys. We'll be doing our best. So, thanks for having me. It's been great.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
very
chatting
much.
to us.
No problem. Anytime.
Bye.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Beautiful.
Gears with Sasha Martinengo.